So good morning. As we gather together, I just invite you to take a moment, settle in where you are. Feel yourself supported, not only by the chair, feel yourself supported by the energy that's come together in this place today. So if you would like, close your eyes as we gather together in the awareness of that one power and that one presence that is living itself in its fullness, in and through and as each one of us. And in truth, living in and as itself in its perfection and in through all creation. And we know that in that truth, we are one. We know the reality, the truth of our unity in the Spirit, as the Spirit. And as we recognize that, as we open our hearts to truly feel that and claim that, we feel that great joy just rising up in us and celebrating through us the truth of our being. For we know, and we know that we know, that we are one. And we are together in this place, gathered together in unity to celebrate and to know and to remember our truth. And we are grateful. And so it is. Amen.
Please join us in singing our first congregational, which is not the congregational I have. So how did that happen? I checked so carefully. All right.
Okay.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Littleton. My name is Amy Fielding. I'll be your platform assistant this morning. And welcome to those joining online as well. A quick reminder, please do silence or turn off your cell phones for the service this morning. And I also get to introduce our amazing musician, Reika Ohal. Thank you so much. And we'll move right into our daily word reading. The words for this morning are pray for others. In love and faith, I pray with you. I am honored to pray with others, and I am grateful when others support me in prayer. When praying hearts and minds are joined, the power of prayer is multiplied. My partners in prayer may be in the same room or far away. We may be close friends or strangers. The power of prayer transcends mere words. The power of prayer transcends what mere words can express, so we need not even speak the same language. We share the heart's language of love and faith. Although the appearance of sickness, of perception of lack or insufficiency, or interpersonal discord may have prompted us to pray, we set those concerns aside as we say yes to wholeness, abundance, and harmonizing love that are blessings in our lives and in every life. And from Matthew 18:19, again, truly I tell you, if two of you agree on earth about anything you ask, it will be done for you by my Father in heaven. And our unity foundation principle. There is only one power and one presence in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. And our Unity of Littleton affirmation. We are a vibrant, open-hearted, spiritual center, raising awareness of the divine within everyone, welcoming warmly, serving joyfully, growing spiritually, living fully. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. And at this time, we would like to especially welcome any guests. We realize the first few times you visit a new place, there's a process of getting to know people and learning how things work. So if you're here for the first, second, or third time, please stop by the Welcome Center right by the entrance door and pick up a small gift that we have for you. Our hope and intention is that these gifts will help introduce you to our spiritual community. And if you've changed your address or phone number or email, please do fill out the connection card found in the card pocket of the chair in front of you. We are so glad that each of you have chosen to spend time with us today and look forward to having you here again. We have a time of hospitality following the service, and we really do encourage everyone to spend a couple extra minutes there. There's some snacks, and it's a great time for us to become better acquainted. And now, please join us in singing our next song.
And I don't know what it is either. Okay. Yeah, this has been a very amazing weekend of learning to dance with the events the universe throws in our path. We'll share that with you later.
Okay, announcement time. This is another reminder that Unity of Littleton's annual church meeting will be held on July 24th. Existing church members need to re-register at this time to retain their active status. And people who would like to become members are encouraged to do so now. Existing and new members, please fill out the green form found on the information table and give that back to Carol Freeman. And Carol also has an announcement for us as well.
I'd like to know if anybody here has ever bought anything on Amazon. Raise your hand. Okay. Well, I just wanted to let you know that Amazon has a something called Amazon Smile. If you sign up to make your purchases through Amazon Smile. And if you select Unity of Littleton, we get a percentage of every purchase that you make on Amazon. How great is that? And it doesn't, you don't have to pay anymore or anything. It's just something that Amazon wants to do to put money back into the community. So we've got, and I wanted to let you know, because we just got, I mean, they just directly deposited into the Unity of Littleton account, so it's pretty cool. We just got $26.56, and not a whole lot, but it's everybody's little bit of purchase. It all adds up. So keep it coming, and if you haven't signed up yet, there are flyers. I'm going to put them on the community table, so please sign up.
And after today's service, Judy Ray will be available to perform a short Reiki treatment to whomever wishes one. There's Judy, thank you. Next week's speaker will be Dr. Wanda Bettinghaus. She is an ordained Unity minister who has a private medical practice in Lakewood where she practices functional medicine. So come on back next week. And we have an announcement for those of you who know Marianne McCubbin. We just wanted to let the congregation know that she has moved to a new assisted living, a new residential place. It's called Living Lighthouse, I believe. And so her address and phone number is here. I think instead of reading it out loud, if you want to come back up to me afterwards, when you have a pen and paper, I'm happy to pass along the address and phone number for you if anyone wants to go visit her. And now we're especially delighted that we get to hear again from Rika.
Actually, we get to hear from Reverend David, who is going to sing our first special music.
Thank you. One would think, as often as I have done this, I wouldn't get nervous doing this. But so just breathe with me. And I've got my lyrics here just in case I forget. So, thank you. Where I am, God is. Where I stand, God is standing strong. Where I breathe, God is breathing life in and out and through me. As me, where I sing, God is. Where I dance, joy lifts my feet. Where I live, beauty's flowing freely in and out and through. As me, where I doubt, God is the faith in me. Where I cry, God is the comfort there. Where I seek, God is the answer. Here, now, forever and ever and ever. Where I speak, truth is. Where I work, love is my career. And where I play, God is playing boldly in and out and through me. As me, God is. God is. God is. Thank you. Switch mics now, huh?
Yes.
Thank you, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that, and thank you for having such an amazing musician.
Let's go.
I actually transposed on the spot. That's kind of
Did you see the smoke?
yeah. That's definitely a talent. So thank you for that. So I appreciate having the opportunity to sing and the opportunity to be here and be with you and share with you. So. You know, one of the things I love about living in Colorado, I've been here 8 years now. It's hard to believe I've been here 8 years now, but one of the things I love about it is being so close to nature. Because I love nature, I love being in nature. Because I think nature, one thing about nature is that it helps me connect to spirit. Just being out in the open and breathing the fresh air and hugging the tree. I'm a tree hugger, and I'm a rock hugger, a rock collector. So I have all these little rocks on my altar table in my meditation space, and just love nature. I was driving in today. I drove down University onto Dry Creek. I was driving west, and I was just seeing the mountains, you know, the beauty, the majesty, and just the awe of that. You know, being in the presence of that and recognizing spirit just expressing through nature. That's one thing I want to talk to you about today is how I learned from nature, and a couple of things I learned recently as I was out hiking, and something that really struck me. I was out hiking in just north of outside of Evergreen. I don't know if it was north or south or east or west, but it was outside of Evergreen anyway, on this little park, and great little hiking space. And I was walking, and I saw this boulder. You know, lots of boulders out there, obviously, but there was this little tree just growing out of what seemed to be just a rock. You know, I was like, how can a tree just grow out of a boulder? You know, there's nothing. I was like, that really gives new meaning to between a rock and a hard place, right? How can it grow there? And what I recognized is that it's life. As I thought about it and meditated on it, it's life seeking expression. You know, and if we look at that, I think life just lives, life just expresses, life just grows. Life wants to express God, source, energy, whatever word or phrase or idea you have about that. And it's like this, I was looking at it, and it's like, you know, the sun is like this energy as well. It's like God drawing forth God, you know, growing toward itself, growing toward recognition of itself and awareness of itself and growing. And nature just does that. And I noticed the other day when I don't really like yard work, but I was out cleaning the flower bed the other day, and I was noticing it's everywhere. So the slightest little crack in the asphalt or the pavement, a daffodil will grow. Have you noticed that? It's like there's nothing there for that thing to grow. And it just happens, you know, we notice that. And whatever we call them, we may call them weeds, but it's life, right? It's life just springing forth all around us. And it is that life. And I thought about, what I thought immediately was, well, where there's a will, there's a way. Then immediately I thought, no. Where there's a way, there's a will. Where there's a way, where there's even the slightest little crack, the slightest little opportunity, life will express itself. And I believe that's true for nature, and it's true for us. That life, God's source energy, just wants to live itself through us freely, as the song talked about. In and out and through me. Life just wants to have its expression, God wants to have its expression through us. I have this little stone that I brought with me that sits on my bedside table. Some of you are probably familiar with this saying. It's from Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore. It is your mission to express all that you can imagine God to be. It's your mission to express all that you can imagine God to be. So what do you imagine God to be? What do you imagine God to be? Well, I imagine God to be love and joy. It's like the song talked about. Love and joy and comfort and awareness and peace and all the things that we want to experience. And I believe that is, when we talk about God's will, the will of God, I believe that's God's will for you and me. That is the only will for you and me, I believe. It's for us to recognize the expression of God, the expression of life that each of us is. And to do whatever we can to live it, to create that way for that life to express. But we, as human beings, have what we call free will, right? We can restrict that life. Anybody ever experienced that? Yeah? We can sort of do things that restrict our awareness of that life and our full expression of that life. And I'm going to just share with you some of my personal experiences with that even recently. I know as a minister, I'm not supposed to admit I do things like that, right? But yeah, one of the things I think about with that little tree is, I think, well, what if that little tree had free will? And that little tree said, why am I growing here in this boulder? Why can't I be over there growing with the rest of those trees? Why can't I be over there somewhere in deep soil where I can take root and grow? Well, I don't think the tree says that. Maybe. Maybe. But I recognize, I was thinking about that for myself. Some of you know that I recently left Unity Spiritual Center of Denver as the senior minister back in February. And I knew it was time for me to leave and go on to do something else. And I'm still trying to figure out what that is. But I posted on a friend's Facebook page recently. It's her birthday. And then I posted happy birthday. And I had shared with her at one point in the past, and maybe revealing something that not many people know here, but I had also talked with Unity Church of Hawaii about going there and being their senior minister. And I'd shared that with this person. So on her Facebook page, she replied to my comment and said, have you heard anything about Hawaii? And I replied, I said, yes, I have, and they hired someone else. And her reply to me was, well, you will find your perfect place. And I immediately thought, well, yeah, I will. I will find my perfect place. And as I thought about it, and I remembered that little tree, I thought, well, maybe this is my perfect place. Maybe this right here, right now, where I'm growing is my perfect place. Even though I may think I need to be somewhere else, doing something else, that when I think I know better, anybody ever go there? I think I know better, then I can then restrict some of that life. I can't block it because I think life is always expressing, but I can restrict it that I, in my own mind and in my own heart, can be in that place of judging where I am. So what if I just accept it? This is where I'm growing right now. I have lessons to learn right now. I have ways that I can express, places that I can express, wherever I am. I can choose to be that expression of God. To fulfill the mission to be all that I can imagine God to be. And it's a choice, isn't it? It's a perspective. I can make that choice anytime. Do I always make that choice? Absolutely not. But I feel the difference. Don't you feel the difference? When you're just present, when you're allowing things to unfold just naturally and easily and effortlessly, you feel that life energy flowing. I do. But when I sit and I think, oh, well, maybe I should be over there, maybe I should be doing that. I don't. I feel the dissonance of that. Another way that I've noticed that I can block that energy, that life that wants to just live itself through me, is in judging myself, comparing myself. Anybody ever do that? I'm sure I'm the only one. But it's like that little, I think back at that little tree, and I'm like, does that little tree think, oh, well, if only I could be that, if only I could be that tree, or that tree, or that tree, or isn't that tree more beautiful than I am, or isn't that tree, I wish I could be as big as that tree, or I'm too small, or I'm too little, or, I'm too big, or whatever it is, I'm too old. How many of us have that thought sometimes? I'm just too old. I wish I had done it 30 years ago, right? So judgment of self. And the thing I know about the judgment of self, that I know it because I've lived it, is that when we judge ourselves, we very often project that judgment onto other people, don't we? That we live in this idea of good and bad and right and wrong. And I'm not here to tell you that there aren't some things going on in the world today that are hard not to judge. They're hard not to judge. I meditated on that this week as I was preparing to come. How can I tell people that there are not things in the world to judge, or to say are bad? Just say it that way. When I see war, when I see homelessness, when I see mass shootings, when I see those things happening in our world, my mind goes to bad. That's wrong. That's bad. But what happens when we do that? What happens in us when we do that is what I want to say. We feel that awareness of that heaviness, and our hearts get blocked and the energy gets blocked when we're judging. And so as I sat with that, I think, okay, well, what do we do? What do we do when we see these things and we're feeling fear and anger and dismay and all the things that we're feeling when we witness these things going on? How do we not judge it? How do we not judge people? And what I got from that for myself, and I'm just sharing it with you, maybe it's helpful for you, is to just take a step back and ask myself, how can I be more attuned to that life energy, which I believe is the pure, unconditional expression of love that doesn't judge, that doesn't evaluate. It just wants to live itself as you and me. It wants to have expression as you and me. And when I find myself in judgment, I'm not living unconditional love. So how do I go back to that? Well, first of all, I believe it starts with us. We have to love ourselves in that. When we're feeling pain, when we're feeling fear, when we're feeling this dismay about all of the things that are going on in the world, how do we come back to ourselves, love ourselves, by giving ourselves empathy and compassion for that? It has to begin with us. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be love on earth. Guess what? And let it begin with me. Let me love myself right where I am. And what I notice about that for myself is when I can be in that place of loving, yes, David, sweetheart. You're feeling sad, you're feeling afraid, you're feeling worried, you're feeling concerned, you're feeling dismay. It's okay. And can you extend that out? Can you express that out to other people? Can you understand? Can you give empathy and compassion to whoever it is out there? Whether you think they're the victim, the perpetrator, or whatever that is, can we live that unconditional love that we believe God is? Does that make sense? How do we open up that way for God to experience itself as us? And I think it's to be aware, again, when we get into judgment. I think we're all aware enough to know when we feel it. We feel the constriction of it. And so that's when it's our opportunity to stop and breathe and connect and choose love in that moment. And then, lastly, what I want to say, again, because I know I experience it and I know I allow these ideas to restrict me from expressing the fullness of God. You know, we are each expressions of them. Each one of us. There's not one of us that's not the fullest expression, the allness of God. You know, Emerson said, you are an inlet and may become an outlet for all there is of God. But we are the ones, we're an inlet, but maybe we're not always that outlet. As Emerson said, you may become an outlet. But what happens for us, I think, very often is that we're unwilling to claim it. We're unwilling to claim that we are that. It's like that little tree that's just being its perfect expression of God. It's being its perfect expression of God right where it is. It's not denying that it is not that. How many of us still believe, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand, but just check in with yourself. How many of us still believe that we are something other than the fullest expression of divine life energy? We deny our power. We deny our purpose. We deny our gifts and talents. We deny that we are here, as Fillmore said, our mission. Not Jesus' mission, not the Buddha's mission. It is our mission to be and to express all that we can imagine God to be. How can we do that? We do it first by claiming that we are all that we can imagine God to be. It is our potential. Your potential and my potential and your potential and your potential. But when we deny that, we believe that we are less than, then we don't open ourselves up. So if no one has told you before, let me tell you. You are a perfect expression of God. The full potential of all that that life is. And it's your opportunity to open out a way for for that life to be expressed. Eric Butterworth, the great Unity teacher, writer, minister, author, writes about the imprisoned splendor. He uses that quote from Robert Browning. He talks about that Robert Browning talks about how we are that. It's all within us. And we have to open out a way for our imprisoned splendor to be expressed. So just like that tree or that dandelion or whatever it is that grows in the most challenging places, our opportunity is to know that there's a way to open out that way through accepting who we are, through stopping judging ourselves and each other and all that is around us, and being present as the life that simply wants to express itself as us. Just checking to see if there's anything else I want to say. I think that's it. So just, I wish to encourage you to, whatever way works for you, to spend time connecting with that life. Meditation, prayer, nature. Dance, singing, whatever that is, to know and to recognize that that flow is happening, and it simply is living itself as you. And all we have to do is open out a way and recognize when we're constricting and choose to open out that way. I think that's all.
And now, to lead us into our time of meditation, let's all sing the Lord's Prayer together.
Thank you for reminding me.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, and deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
So as we take this time to go within, to remove our focus from the outer and closing our eyes, and taking a deep conscious breath, allowing that breath to draw our awareness deep into our own hearts, down deep beneath our thinking, where we connect with that power, that life that is living us. And we open ourselves up in this time to the awareness of the beauty and the wonder and the love and the peace and the joy and all the good that we can imagine that life to be. That life that is seeking expression in its fullness through each of us right here and right now. And we open ourselves up to feel that presence, to connect consciously with that presence, to allow that presence, that knowing to fill our minds, to open our hearts, and to guide us each and every moment in how we might fulfill that mission, to be and to express all that we can imagine that life of God to be. And so in the silence, be with that, open to that, allow that, receive it now. And so in that awareness, we claim our truth as wonderful, wondrous, glorious expressions of the life of God right here, right now. And we ground that awareness as we breathe in all the way down to the bottom of our feet, feeling our connection to the earth, breathing out and feeling our connection with each other and all creation. And in this moment, we say yes. Yes, 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 to that life. And so it is.
O God, from whom the breath of life comes, who fills out heaven and earth, may your light shine within us. May we know you're not separate from us. May we feel you in our hearts. Let your will come true. Let us love like you. Thanks for your forgiveness. May we forgive ourselves and others too. Thank you for guiding our steps while we're here. May we walk in love, not fear. When we listen, your message is clear. The kingdom of heaven is here. The kingdom of heaven is here. The kingdom of heaven is here.
This is our offering time. If you would prefer to give by credit or debit, there are forms to use in the card pocket of the chair in front of you. And for those of you joining online, if you would like to make a donation, please go to our webpage at unitylittleton.org. You can click on the Contact Us tab and then the Donate button. If you would prefer to mail a check, our mailing address is also on that website. Thank you for your gifts. I invite you now to take your offering in your hands as we prepare to bless it. What a joyous blessing it is to be able to give freely from a place of love and abundance. We can give in this way knowing that what we give goes out to bless others and that we are blessed in return because that is the law of circulation. We also give in the knowledge and understanding that God's abundance is inexhaustible. And now our blessing.
Oopsie. Can't ever be asleep on the switch.
Here we go. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, and all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful. Thank you, God. Unity of Littleton wholeheartedly believes in tithing, so this week our tithe goes to Unity Spiritual Institute. And now once again we get to hear from Reka.
So, as Reverend David was giving his wonderful talk this morning, it really resonated with me because that particular energy of trees growing wherever they are and things, life just continues to happen, right? I'm kind of quoting Jurassic Park here, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Life will find a way. And that's kind of what they say in that movie, and it's true. So that really, the dandelions breaking through sidewalk was always just amazing to me. I mean, it's breaking through concrete. We can't do that, you know? So I wrote this song kind of about that, because to me that's an expression of love. Life and love can't be really separated. Nothing can keep away love. Keep away love. It falters and stumbles, its blossoms may crumble. Sometimes it gets tumbled and torn, but nothing can keep away love. Nothing can keep away love. Once it's revealed, it can't be concealed. Your heart will believe it once more. It comes past the starlight and over the hills. It comes from the ocean and pine. You think love won't find you, but I say it will. For though you may hide it well, your heart still shines. Nothing can keep away love. Nothing can keep away love. Water and water melts stone, and winter is haunted by spring. Like daisies break the sidewalk, and the light always wins. Nothing can keep away love. Starlight and over the hills, it comes from the ocean and pine. You say love won't find you, well, I say it will. For though you may hide it well, your heart still shines. Nothing can keep away love. Nothing can keep away love. Like lightning seeks water, and water melts stone, and winter is haunted by spring. Like daisies break sidewalk, and the light always wins. Nothing can keep away love. Like daisies break sidewalk, and the light always wins. Nothing can keep away
Isn't it a bonus to get a jazz performance? Thank you. We are grateful for the gift and the giver, and know that in the giving, we place ourselves in the divine flow of our own good. Thank you, God. And now we're at the point of the service where if everyone could stand up and we just kind of form a big circle. As we prepare to sing the peace song, you're invited to extend your hands in front of you, palms up, to offer the universe and each other an energy of peace and love as we start to sing the peace song. Before we begin singing, let's take a deep breath together and allow the feelings of peace to fill our minds and bodies. Our heart rate becomes calm, and we know in this moment all is well. As we sing the peace song, we know that just as God declared, "Let there be light," we are declaring peace to be so.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, unite all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my choice, Lord. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And please join me in the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And tell me, how are you going out into this day and this week?
This divine light